and I'm gonna try to shorten it as much as possible because your boy watched from like episode 18 of Diamond is Unbreakable and stopped at like episode 8 in Golden Wind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Irbal Sinergy, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, as always, my co-host, Irby.
What's up, big dog?
Not too much, big guy. How you doing?
You know, just chilling out, living life. Now, I mean,
I know what you mean.
yeah, baby.
You got you know I'm gonna ask.
Got no flavor.
No?
Yeah, dog. I ain't been watching too much of anything.
My flavor is a recommendation for our lovely audience.
Of one.
Webtoons, The Stellar Swordsman. It doesn't have to be webtoons. I'm sure you can read elsewhere, but Stellar Swordsman is a great read. It is not complete, but very enjoyable.
Stellar Swordsman. I think there was one that not a swordsman, but there's something that I'd seen. I was like, oh, that looks like an interesting read.
Yeah, a lot of bangers. I enjoy people that like. I enjoy stories that don't like try to go too heavy into like. It seems like everything's just like a reincarnated thing.
Or yeah,
or like hunters and things. This is just kind of like knights. Like they have something called an aura, which is kind of like a power, but like it's not like they have powers. It's just like some people have auras and other people don't. So it's the craziest thing about the MC is that he has he got struck by lightning and now there's a like I for the sake of the story, a spirit that communicates with him, and I'm pretty sure that spirit was a master swordsman.
seems very interesting.
Yeah, so he's growing explosively.
So he's essentially cheating on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, but you know,
Nah, I wouldn't call it cheating. It's more so he's
a teacher.
Teacher. So
yeah, because like the spirit can like take over his body, which it has done to help him survive a fight with something that was too strong for him. But like it takes a toll on him, so like they can't do it often, and it's only like in a desperate situation. And I don't think it was like a thing he did willingly. I think he passed out, and then the spirit took over.
yeah.
But essentially, it's just like he has another master inside himself other than the people he's been training with. And if this thing, which it did come out in this generation, but like had it been like an Americanized anime, the title could have easily been Kid from the Slums Becomes Knight.
Yeah.
That's probably what the title would have been, because he's from the slums, and you know his dream was to rise above it all, and I think be a knight. So he's currently living his dream. He has 2 love interests.
Rise above it all.
And
Not the 2 love interests.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick which one you kind of want him to go with.
Interesting.
One's pretty much a queen. The other's his childhood friend.
Oh, his childhood friend. They've been there with you
I mean,
for a long time.
the signs points to the queenish figure. I don't know if you know much about like knight, like royalty etiquette, but like, do you know what the symbolism of handing a knight your handkerchief is?
Yeah, I couldn't explain it to you, but I know it. It's like unfielding loyalty or something. I don't know, but I know it's something.
Yeah. So like, there's two ways to accept a handkerchief. Like, one is like the lady bestowing it places it on your hilt, and I think it's something. It does something along the line, signifies something along what you were saying. But
Yeah,
the MC is from the slums, so he had no idea. So like, when she extended her hand, he grabbed the handkerchief, and it was like, I think that is a symbolism of love. So, yada yada yada. Fast forward, childhood friend after becomes a knight sees that he has the handkerchiefs, and like, she gets jealous, so she makes him a handkerchief. So now he has two, but he uses the one the childhood friend gives him to wipe his face. Even though like she said like, here to wipe your face so you don't get the other one dirty, but like she clearly like wanted to give it to him because he had another girl's handkerchief and she was jealous. And then like the queenish girl sees like when she asks, "You still have my handkerchiefs?" and like he pulls it out, and he pulled out two, both of them, unknowing like he didn't know like he shouldn't have, but then the queen got jealous and he was like, no, I used this one to clean my face.
yeah.
I mean, I'm really enjoying it. His growth, and like he's kind of OP, but he's not too OP. It's just like a proper mix in there.
I feel that, dog.
But you got anything you want to talk about before we go on a JoJo binge?
No, I got nothing.
All right, guys. Let me just start off. Use the bathrooms, get something to drink, get something to eat, get a snack. It's gonna be a lot to digest, and I'm gonna try to shorten it as much as possible because your boy watched from like episode 18 of Diamond is Unbreakable and stopped at like episode 8 in Golden Wind. And I could have watched more, but I was like, I don't even. I'm failing to retain a lot of information now.
Yeah, man, went overboard.
Yeah. So without further, but since I started JoJo's, we've became like a JoJo cast. So like, I do kind of want to get through the series as soon as possible, so I can experience another fucking show. Oh, then I did watch the second season of Squid Games because I was trying to take a break from JoJo's.
Didn't even watch the second one, Squid Games.
The third one's coming out soon. I would say the second season is very, very predictable.
I feel like there shouldn't even be a third season.
Well, there's a third season because the games didn't finish in the second season.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, I would almost be pressed to call it season 2, part 2. Maybe they just ran out of budget and wanted to put out the first half. But I think they're gonna call it season 3. But yeah. Or do you plan on watching it?
I do not plan on watching Squid Games.
Do you want to know what happens?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, very, 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 it's not a very long story. I think it's only 6 or 8 episodes. But to summarize it real quick, the winner, Ki-hoon, basically spent 3 years and used his prize money to try to find the people playing the game and put a stop to it. And they devised a plan they tracked him down, and he put a tracker. He had one of his teeth removed and put a tracker in it. So they tracked him down. He got taken to the island, and not too long after, they realized that the GPS thing was taken out. And the cop who made it on the island for 2 years he was he had this Fisher, his captain dude, sailing to different islands to help him find. And towards the middle of this season, that captain seemed sketchy. He ended up killing someone who was close to figuring him out because he was tampering with. Long story short, I think the captain's on the Squid Game's payroll. Gi-hong, when they got to the night where, like in the first season, you know, they had that night where everyone tried to kill each other. He had a group of people wait under the bed until the guys in pink came in, and they took over the guns and they went to try to get to the control room, and it was they were severely outnumbered, but the whole time, because you saw the leader's face, you knew he was 001 and he was part of Gi-hun's crew. So at the very last episode, when he was separated, he killed 2 of the players after killing a few of his guys. And he shot Gi-hun's best friend in front of him because Gi-hun's best friend, the guy he went to ask for money, who owns the shop in the first season, he was in the games as well. And he shot him and killed him right in front of him. And that's where the season ends. But like,
That's awful.
yeah, like but like from like the very first 2 episodes, you kind of know how this whole thing's gonna play out. So, that's the dude in the black mask. He's in the game, so he's gonna alter it. You know what I mean? Then, you guess the game, since he was part of their team. You guess, you know, he wants the games to continue, so he's not gonna lose intentionally, but he's gonna make it close and things like that. It was an entertaining season. I didn't know I finished it until I tried to watch the next one, and it wasn't on my continue watching list.
That's the worst. Where you're looking through and you're like, oh yeah,
It's like,
the
where
next
did it
one.
go? Yeah, where'd it go?
Yeah, it's like that with JoJo. I was like that at some point. So I was like, oh, we want a new one? Yeah, because you can only tell when it's like they switch the characters. You're like, oh man.
Oh man, switching characters again. Well, I have some comments about the next season, but let's finish up this season first. So, shall we get to
Yeah,
it?
finish it up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
overall breakdowns on all things to come. So, first breakdown, Shigechi's Harvest. You know, that kid looked fucking weird. He kind of looked like the Doria from Dragon Ball, but like normal skin. I don't know why the hell he had spikes in his head.
Yeah.
But and he was kind of the complete 180 turn from here, take all my money, to you guys didn't do anything for this money, I did. The dramatic change out of nowhere just to have someone to fight against was like, I was like, that's kind of sudden. This dude flipped real quick.
I feel like it's partly his stand user, or did he have a stand? I can't remember.
He his stand was the little bug thing, Harvest.
Yeah, I think
coins.
Yeah, so I think part of his demeanor why he changes is because hoarding like dragons are like, oh, this is my stuff, and it's like, oh, you can't have my treasure, even though his rational brain wants to be like selfless and share folks, but his stand brain's like, no, it's mine.
That could be, yeah. I could get behind that. So to summarize Shigechi's involvement, basically Josuke gave him the idea to find like lottery tickets and coupons and stuff like that, and they ended up coming across a crap ton of money, and they had to fight him for it because he got greedy, and it was like, oh, my stand did all the work, but it's also kind of true, but Josuke did come out with the plan. So he was really, really tough to fight at first. Like, he was injecting alcohol directly into their veins to intoxicate them so they couldn't fight properly. But of course, you know, they got the upper hand on him, Josuke and Okuyasu, and eventually they did split it even amongst them. So he did get his fair share, even though he was being a dick. Yukaku and the Cinderella stan. That was an interesting episode, and Koichi's change of affections towards her was also interesting because it wasn't the work of the Cinderella stan at all. It was just Koichi is just too nice and wanted to give her a second chance and really cared about her. And when it came to the end of the episode where the lady is basically saying, hey, pick your face and you get the right one. If you get the wrong face, you're going to look horrible. And she told Koichi to pick the face, and Koichi was like, it's got to be this one. But if it's not this one, I want you to blind me so that I can live with her happily ever after. And I was like, I get the gesture. That seems like a cop-out. You should have to live with what you chose. But he was like, if I gotta live with this, I ain't looking at her. You saying she gonna look that bad? You know what? She won't be alone, and I won't have to look at her. Win-win.
Yeah. That's just yeah, it's crazy though. Those abilities.
Yeah, but hers is not really like a fighting ability. When this, like, I can't see her fighting with her stand.
Yeah, me neither.
And I'm surprised Yukaku wasn't involved more later in the season.
What has you surprised about that though?
Cause like her and Koichi became a thing, so like it's kind of weird that she wasn't. I'm glad she wasn't clingy, but like it's weird that she wasn't with him more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure she really would add anything to the show, if that makes sense. Because, like you said, she's not a fighter. Her ability's not that great. So,
no, I was talking about the Cinderella stand. Yukaku's hair thing is kind of. It could be useful in some situations, I guess. I don't know. I just. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, okay. But like Okuyasu was around a lot. He used to stand like twice in the last 20 episodes. In the end, it ended up being he ended up using it at the most crucial time. But I was surprised. Like I didn't mind her character. She was fucking batshit crazy, but I didn't mind her character. But I digress. Then we meet the serial killer in the town who also happens to be a Stan user, and he just has this thing where, like, you know, when the hand starts rotting, he was the person we saw in the first episode, the hand making breakfast.
Yeah.
The very first episode, there was a villain.
Yeah, not a villain that you would. He's a villain, but it's like one of those ones where they're just like, hey, we got to stop this person after the fact. Not like they pursued him the whole series.
It's weird that Kira's and Koichi's stands evolved into 3 different types. I don't know if I ever see Koichi not use Rebirth version 3, Act 3 anymore. Or anything other than V-Verb Act 3. But Kira can use any 3 versions of his stand's abilities he wants. It's just he can only use one at a time. It's really interesting how I almost don't get Kira's third thing where, like, if it blows up, it rewinds time. I feel like with each evolution, their abilities should get a little more
The previous one.
Yeah, it should evolve from the previous, but it seemed like both of their stands just kind of like got further away from what they originally were capable to do. Like, I don't know what Act 3 has anything to do with sound. It's straight up gravity. Stay within 5 meters and I can make this thing very heavy. And I was just like, what does it have to do with sounds? And then, like, how Kira got reversing time from bombs also throws me off. But I did catch this time in the season that I didn't catch last season of the opening. They reversed time in the opening theme song. Did you catch that?
You completely missed it. Yeah. Because I'll say about. I think I was going to jump ahead, but yeah, keep talking. I'm listening.
Okay, so all right, so let's go. I did just jump ahead a little. Let's go back to. So now we're at Yoshikage Kira. Jotaro and Koichi were investigating the missing button because he killed Shigechi. And in the midst of their investigation, they found him at a tailor, not a tailor, but like I think it was a shoe store that happened to do tailoring. So Jotaro and Koichi had their fight with Kira's long distance stand, which was the right hand ability, and it kind of just tracks heat and it won't stop until it catches attack, and it's like it's pretty much indestructible, which is because Koichi wasn't listening to Jotaro got really injured, so Koichi had to take the reins, and that's when his Reverb Act 3 came to fruition, and he had Kira's tank thing pinned down with gravity, so it forced Kira to have to go get the tank thing, and it became everyone versus him because Josuke and Okuyasu showed up because Koichi called them last second, and he was gonna heal Kira because he still didn't know his face yet, and Koichi and Jotaro were out for the count when he was like, "I'll heal you," and the dude was like, thank you," and Josuke was like, "How'd you know I had healing abilities? You must be the guy we're looking for." He had what kind of he had a Jotaro moment, honestly.
Yeah.
The Jotaro would do that, like the cigarette, like
the cigarette smoke was the best one.
Yeah, where he was like something, I forget what it was, where like
he was like, yeah, stand users when they smoke, they get a small cigarette smoke, they get this little wrinkle over their nose.
And then everyone who
was the guy usually touches their head. Yeah.
So yeah, then I forget what exactly happens that Kira was able to escape from Josuke, but regardless, he did escape and he got to the Cinderella stand girl, and before killing her, he made her switch his faces with this other dude, and he was just, biding his time, trying to soak in his life there. I think soak in his like what's the word I'm looking for? Try to like blend in and like seem inconspicuous to the family.
Yeah.
But the house had a very antisocial kid, and the wife hated him, but she fell in love with Kira in his body because he was just so like different, and like he had a moment where like he stole the money from the landlord to pay the rent for the landlord, and she was like, "Did he just do that? Did she just do that? Why am I so turned on right now?"
Yeah, the mom was weird.
Yo, she was tripping. And while they were looking for Kira, they found his dad, whose ability is to control anything within a photo. Like if you're in the photo with him, he can control what happens to you. So like they ended up trapping him in the photo, but Okuyasu and Koichi fell for his antics and thought he escaped and released him. So he just went around with the arrow, making stand users to help his kid out. So numerous interesting but ultimately useless stand users later that didn't really contribute to the story. We get to my man evolving his stand to Bites the Dust, where I think, if I understand correctly, the way it works is if Hayato, which is the kid, mentions Kira's real name or gets anyone to mention it, the bomb goes off and he goes back to 2 hours before it happened? Does that sound right?
Yeah, he goes back to the previously set point.
And the only downside to Kira's stand is he has to figure it out himself that it happened. Like his mentality goes back in time too. It's not like the stand tells him. So he just figures out that Hayato triggers the stand multiple times through his behavior, like when he acquired Bite the Dust, him and the kid had a very sketchy moment in the bathroom where they were showing the kid's dick, and it was kind of uncomfortable. I'll be honest. I was like, I don't.
He probably could have just left that out, dog.
Yeah.
Well, I could left that out. Yeah.
But I was just like, it was one of those moments. Like I kind of wish. I hope my wife doesn't pay attention to this. It'd be one of those awkward moments that like someone walks in, like I swear I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
But he did kill the kid in time rewound, and the kid ended up dying like 3 or 4 times before the kid found out how to set it up perfectly. So he called Josuke and woke him up early so he wouldn't be late. He grabbed the cat stand that the dad made that shoots out like air bullets that can't be seen. And when they pinned him down, and they had him pinned down for a moment, Kira killed Okuyasu, and Josuke was doing his best to like heal him and get to him, and Hayato was like, no, he's gone. Kira got a hold of the cat and put it inside his stand, so now he had air bubbles that he can explode whenever he wanted, which was a very cool thing. I don't know how to put it in words precisely, but like that was probably like the best combinations of stands you could have had. So like that was cool to see. Josuke and Hayato and Okuyasu run into this house where Kira is like sending bombs through walls, and it's tracking Josuke, and he can't figure out how. So then he just takes a lighter and starts lighting Hayato's clothes on fire. It turns out the dad was in his pocket, and he used I guess a voice interpretation to mimic his dad and get Kira to blow up his own dad. And then it just became a fight between Shining Diamond and Kira, where Josuke in the end, through just pure wit, came out and took out Kira. And everyone gathered. They were finally caught on. It always happened. It happened. I was complaining about this in the last season too, where like anytime something's happening, people are just waiting for everyone else while they're just being in battle, and like they were around the corner the entire time and probably could have heard some of the explosions.
Yeah.
But in the end, Kira was his head was ran over by an ambulance. That's what happened in the end, and then everyone went their separate ways. That was the end of the season, which I did enjoy the season. I still don't like what they did to my boy Jotaro. I still don't like how he looked. I see what you mean. How like Joseph kind of looks like he wasn't actually senile. Like he actually kind of seems all the way there. I think it's kind of crazy that he's the one raising the baby.
Yeah. I would say, you wrapped up the season already, dog?
What's up?
I say you wrapped up the season. I feel like you probably forgot a lot of stuff.
Well, I blew through it. I have no, like, I don't have.
Didn't take the notes.
No. I take terrible notes.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I was towards the end. I was just blowing through them. But the only thing I really left out was the alien stand, the stand that puts you in, what is it? I think a book or paper, puts you into paper. The stand that transfers onto other people's backs, and like Rohan took him down the haunted alley, so like if it looks back, it got yanked off. Just the onesie twosie guys that the father was making, but like they weren't bad episodes. It's just I didn't think they were important to the overall story.
Yeah, you missed the whole thing about the little girl and the dog trying to let them know the serial killer was there.
Oh yeah, so Rohan and Rohan Kasupi's adventure, Koichi and Rohan. Yeah, that was episode 17. Oh, so I didn't. I stopped on like. I didn't stop. I don't know when I. Okay, so I started on the wrong episode because the girl shows up on episode 17, and Koichi and Rohan go into that alley and they can't get out of it. And it turns out like she was one of, I guess, Kira's first victims. And she sees, her and the dog sees like all the other victims. So we saw when like Rohan was a victim. We saw when like I think Okuyasu. No, not Okuyasu. The girl was a victim. She saw all his victims. And then like when he finally died, they the girl and the dog took revenge on him in spirit form.
Yeah, the whole battle in the alley with him, and end up taking him away. But yeah, I think you also missed the one, the flashback. Remember I told you that the reason why he wears his hair like that?
No, we talked about that.
You did?
Yeah, because we were talking about it while we were talking about the that story came out with when they fought Rohan. And Koichi was saying like he doesn't know he still doesn't know if it was true or did Josuke just made it up.
No, it was like a I want to say what happened was, I think it was he went back in time far enough to save his own life.
Is that what actually happened?
Yeah, and then something happened and brought him back, but like he has no recollection of it present him.
Wait, do they explain that somewhere? Because I didn't see it.
That was just him, dog. Looking at the photo, I was like, yeah, that's him.
I mean, I think the same thing, but like, I think it looked like him, but I don't.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for it. It can't be him.
I mean, if a Stan has the ability to go back under certain circumstances, then why couldn't it be him?
Because he doesn't know anyone who could go back that far.
I mean, what the kid unconsciously did like the 2 hours. He went back like 20 years. Who knows?
If it was a shining diamond ability, I think it would have got exposed. Unless you're telling me I haven't seen the last of Josuke.
I don't know. You might have. Who knows?
Because Koichi doesn't look like he aged. While we're going through Golden Wind with Giorno, is Koichi still in high school?
No, I'm pretty sure that he graduated.
Okay. They don't look like they aged at all. So Josuke is somewhere, but I do because I binged it. I do know that Jotaro was quite fond of Koichi.
Yeah, he liked him.
Yeah,
a whole lot.
Well, I might as well give thoughts on Giorno. I'm not going to talk about the 8 episodes this week. But
you might as well, because you're going to forget them.
Well, that's the thing. I pretty much already forgot them.
So you might
but I did pick up on key things. Like Giorno's stand, like he can make objects into other objects. And like if you hit the stand, you actually hurt yourself. I don't really understand how his stand works, but like it seems like kind of OP.
It's like refrain, reflect.
But it's weird to me how he has a picture of Dio in his wallet. I know it's his dad, but like to my knowledge, he's never met him. So I don't know how maybe his mom had that picture, and like I don't know how she got that picture, because that looked like a picture that like Joseph and Jotaro were using to hunt Dio down. And Koichi went to Italy to look for Giorno, but his hair changed because Jotaro was speculating that Dio's blood is awakening in him. And I mean, I'll get into it like a little more down the line next week, but long story short, Giorno joined a mafia?
Yeah, a little mafioso gang in Italy.
Yeah, and I'll have to talk about the zipper stand, the rewinding stand, I don't think I know your stand, and the bullet stand. I think those are 3 stands I actually saw and remember. Oh,
yeah, the zipper one's cool.
The what? Which one?
The zipper one's cool.
The zipper one is cool. I got to talk about the guy who did the interview as well.
I forget his stand. Oh yeah, that dude.
You
joined the one in the jail cell?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happens pretty quick.
Yeah. It's got about the same amount of episodes as last season. Because this one's Golden Wind. Diamond is Unbreakable is also 39. Golden Wind's 39. And Stone Ocean is 38. The longest one was Jotaro.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. That one was even longer.
Yeah.
That was just a good one. I was like, oh no. Because I was like, oh man, you can't end it yet. But yeah.
Yeah, we got a long way to go.
You sure do. Hopefully you don't binge 30 episodes in a sitting, so you can remember some of the stuff.
It won't happen again. I'm off vacation. And I'm banned from JoJo's until next cast.
Yeah. Might as well go back and rewatch some 8 episodes.
I'll skim through I think Netflix has a thing where you can fast forward episodes, right?
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. I think so. I think they do. Let me check.
They do have it where you can speed it up.
Yeah, I can just speed through a few episodes. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's about it. Oh, the Nintendo Switch dropped 6.5.
It did.
Yeah, in stores. I won't be getting one though. I'm wait till that thing comes down.
How much
Or I
is
get
it
a
right now?
coupon. $4.49.
Yeah. There are some games I want to play that only coming out. But I think it's Nintendo games are fun, but they're crooks, man. They're really cheap bastards. Like all the interesting games coming out are Switch 2 exclusives. So this is the first coming out of your new console. You're supposed to include the previous one for a period of time.
Yeah, I think the Switch 2 is backwards capable though, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but like, here's the thing about Switch games, right? 'Cause I don't buy Switch games for multiplayer. I have a PlayStation for that, and I have a PC for that. The Switch games are for like the occasional Mario games, Zelda games that look really fun, right? So the problem with that is, once I play it, I have no interest in playing it again. So I can trade it in for like $20 maybe, even though it's going to cost $60 for the next 6 years. But I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Mario Kart is still $60.
Yeah, man, it's freaking, and that game has seen 3 generations of consoles, just consoles. Now I'm not even talking about people. I'm talking about consoles. I think Mario Kart 8 was out on the Wii.
Yeah.
Then the Wii U, and then the Switch.
Then the Switch.
Which Mario Kart World looks fine, but I'm really interested in that Donkey Kong game.
It's Donkey Kong. If it shoots ya, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, that's all I got, big guy.
Yeah, that's all I got too, dog.
All right.
Got nothing.
Watch some anime, man.
Hey, man, it's life, dog.
I don't like being
Nothing
the only one
interesting's out. Oh, but the people love to hear you talk.
Nah, I don't even like to hear me talk.
They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear him talk.
Nah.
He's talking up a storm.
You're the one with the talking voice, big dog.
Nah, not me. I ain't talked since NAM.
Well, an episode of something. One episode something. I gotta give you something to watch. Wait, didn't I give you a list of things to watch? You asked me for a list.
Yeah, and I promptly threw it in the trash.
You fucking bastard. Didn't you watch Windbreaker with me first season?
Nah, that was all you.
That was all
I just faked like I watched it.
You son of... Weren't you into Fire Force?
I did think I watched the first season, then I never picked back up in it.
It was hard to pick back up. I gotta give you something that I think you would enjoy.
Yeah, if I haven't seen it already.
Yeah, there's no point of me telling you to watch Solo because you listened to it.
Yeah.
If you were
Done with
interested in
Solo.
ReZero, you would have picked up where we left off.
I watched like the 8 episodes, but I was like, this ain't what it used to be.
I'm gonna find something that you're interested in. I don't know what yet, but I'm gonna find something.
You might find something.
I gotta play some footage back and see like what it actually. I gotta find something JoJo related. Something that's just like. I gotta find something like Clash from the Elite, JoJo, something that's just big brain throughout the episodes.
Yeah, I don't make those like they used to.
Yeah, that's why they're good, man. 'Cause they don't make too many of them. That's all. I'm gonna find one.
The bigger the brains, the better it is. Because I'd be like, man, oh snap! I was like, oh, why'd he do it that way? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like,
find
oh.
But until then, guys, catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.